The Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft Kyle Trask in the second round of the 2021 NFL draft. Now, I'm going to approach this from a different angle, but again, as I've stated, I'm not that typical dude, and I'm not that typical guy that's going to talk football on this channel. Let's go. Let's go. This is Tampa 2 Drew. I'm going to talk about the second round draft pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kyle Trask. March 6th, 1998. Anyone else just looks him up, sees that birthday, they might just roll right over it and be like, whatever. But to me, I always look at the birthday. Anytime we get a new player, coach, anyone of any significance, I'm always looking at their birthday. It doesn't matter who it is, president, coach, owners, whatever, it doesn't matter. I always look at birthdays. I'm intrigued. I don't think that it's the end all be all, right? But I do believe that knowing somebody's birthday, their sign, does give me just a little bit of insight into who they might possibly be as far as their personality is concerned. Why do I care? Why should anyone care? Well, even if you don't believe in the Zodiac, even if you don't think that that has any effect on anyone, understanding someone's personality, I think, is huge. It's key to understanding how they're going to develop, how they're going to be. I've watched it in corporate companies. They literally do these personality tests where they study and understand how someone's going to fit within an organization. So I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just kind of using a baseline in the fact that he's a Pisces, right? A March 6th Pisces. I do specify on the date, although I don't know his moon sign is rising, a full breakdown. That would really be nice, but I don't know that. So I'll just go with this. Now, one of the other reasons why I'm doing this is because year after year, as crazy as you may think I am for doing it, it's even crazier that we watch these so-called gurus constantly get it wrong. I mean, Tom Brady drafted in the 6th round is proof enough, right? The fact that Patrick Mahomes wasn't the number 1 overall pick is proof enough, right? You just, every single year you see guys that should have been drafted higher and guys that should have never been drafted at all. It happens all the time. So I prefer to look at things from a different angle and just kind of see if I can pick up on something that maybe somebody else didn't and how that translates. And personality, I think, is a huge key. Now, I know you're already thinking I'm crazy, and that's fine, but I'm going to go back through some head coaches that the Buccaneers have had to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. And so that it's not just quarterbacks or any player, individual, whatever, although I may reference one other Pisces that I'm a big fan of before we move on here. But I want to talk about some coaches. I'm not going to go back too far. We'll start with, let's say, we'll go with Schiano, Lovie Smith, Dirk Cutter, and then our current coach, just to give you an idea. And I'll try to keep it pretty short. Greg Schiano, June 1st, Gemini, okay? Now, if anyone didn't see that guy, like if you know the Zodiac, right, he was a true Gemini, didn't care what anybody thought, did things the way he did them. Part of that coming from Rutgers, right? He just kind of had that mentality, but whatever. He did things that some people didn't like, you know, like when other teams were like getting ready to kneel the ball and he told his team to basically just bum rush, you know, he did some things people didn't like, okay, let's just be real. And ultimately that probably kind of, you know, led to whatever. Then we'll go on to Lovie Smith here. Lovie Smith, a May 8th Taurus. I was excited, and before I even throw any shade at him, understand I'm a May 7th Taurus, so whether the good and the bad, I resonate, right? I kind of relate to Lovie Smith on some things, even on the bad things, just to be real. But when he came in, I was excited, but unfortunately, he kind of did some things that Taurus peeps can do. One of those being the fact that he wanted to be friends with everyone, right? Sometimes we don't want to have drama. We don't want to have conflict. We just want everyone to get along. We want it peaceful. And it's just not that way. The world is not that way. And an NFL locker room certainly isn't going to be that way. And when you're trying to be friends with everyone and then you've got a discipline, that'll backfire on you real quick. So you saw that when he was with the team where he tried to be friends, then he tried to discipline, that backfired. The rest of the team, half the team was split. It just didn't work out too well, and well, there he goes. Then you bring in Dirk Cutter. Now, I like this because Dirk Cutter was like kind of the opposite of Lovie Smith, right? You got a February 5th Aquarius coming in. savage, right? Like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm just going to win. I'm going to do my job. And it doesn't matter if you like me or you don't like me, you're going to respect me. I think it would have worked out better if he had drafted the quarterback the year before, right? But he didn't. Lovie Smith and Jason Light drafted Jameis Winston. Therefore, he was in this conflict where he wanted to be that guy. He wanted to just be like, it's my way or the highway, but everyone was like, yo, we put a lot of stock in Jameis Winston, so you're going to have to work with what you got. I don't care. So he was kind of limited on how savage he could possibly be. If you're a fan of press conferences, you'll notice like his Thursday offensive coordinator press conferences the year before when he was the offensive coordinator were the best. They were the best press conferences ever. Then he moved in as the head coach and he toned it down a lot. He played it safe. He was a lot more political. You could just listen to him talking to Jenna Wilson or whatever her name is, and like the interactions when he was the offensive coordinator versus head coach were like night and day sometimes. But whatever. Ultimately, he tried his best to kind of play the game, but you could tell he really didn't want to. It didn't work out, and therefore he was gone. Then you bring in our current coach, Bruce Arians, which I felt like, to me, was kind of the perfect mix of a Lovie Smith and a Dirk Cutter. Like, if you were to take them and take their best attributes and put them together, that would be a Bruce Arians, right? So Bruce Arians, he's a Libra, October 3rd. He's got that way of really resonating and relating to younger NFL players because he's got that youthful energy. Most Libras, especially male Libras, they've just got that way about them. I don't know how to explain it, but like for me as a Taurus, like I get along great with Libras, but Libra men, like they really can bring out that youthful energy, right? Where I just kind of like, the kid comes out of me, you know what I mean? Plus, they got that swag. They've just got that, I don't know, it's just something about him. I remember watching him when he was with the Cardinals, and that was when I really started paying attention to him. I didn't know anything about him before that, but when I saw him with the Cardinals, I saw him with the Oakleys and the hat, I was just like, man, like this guy has got the swag. And then he comes to Tampa, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, this might work. And it's been clear, it's evident that he's got that ability to resonate with younger players, but he can also, as a mature Libra, come in and enforce the law. So somebody like Antonio Brown comes in and it's like, you're not just going to come in and run the show. Now, before I even move forward, I think a lot of that credit goes to our quarterback, Tom Brady, but nevertheless, he's just got that good balance, right? Which if you're looking at Libra, you're looking at their sign, it's all about the scales, and he's clearly pretty balanced. So that kind of just gives you an idea. Now, if you really want me to go back and break down like every one of the coaches that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have ever had and talk about their sign, like that's something I'd love to do. I've done it with presidents in the past, and I'd love to do it on this channel. If anybody wants me to, drop a comment, but I'm not going to go back any further or talk any more about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Kyle Trask here and him being a Pisces and how his personality may help him going forward with the Bucs. Sorry that took so long for me to get to this point because this video is about him and I talked about coaches most of the time, but it'd be like that. So first we got to start with the fact that this guy has been patient pretty much his entire life up to this point. There's only 23 years, but he's been patient these 23 years getting to where he's at. Starting with the fact that he didn't even play in high school, right? I don't think he played. I know he didn't start in high school, but I don't think he even played. Then he goes to University of Florida, right? He's got to be patient there, finally gets his turn, and kind of really just comes out of nowhere. Now, he doesn't have the mobility, right? He doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. A lot of people said the same things about Tom Brady, and I'm not saying in any way that he's a Tom Brady. In fact, I think he said that his hero, right? Well, his hero is his mom, but the one he really tried to emulate and look, tried to be like was Peyton Manning. So, whatever. But when we look at him and his patience and how that will help him, certainly he's going to need it because he's coming into Tampa where he's clearly going to be the backup. And he's going to have to be patient. He's going to have to learn. He's a pretty smart guy, but he's going to need that ability to come in and not want to control everything. So as a Pisces, that's going to help him because he's not necessarily the alpha, right? A quarterback needs to be the field general. They need to be the one that is taking control. But if you come in and you feel the need that you have to be that alpha that's in control of everything, and your job is to be the beta or to be behind Tom Brady and just kind of wait your turn, that's not going to be so easy for you. Whereas for him, I think he can be patient, take the time that he needs to take to learn his role, to do what he needs to do. And then, hey, look, if things work out for him, maybe one day he gets the opportunity to be the starter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's no guarantee that that happens. But if there's a guy that I would want to give that opportunity to, it's going to be somebody like that with that kind of mindset. The ability to be patient, but know that once your time is there, to come in and take charge. And so far, up to this point, that's what he's done. As far as his breakdown, right? If you want to look at his touchdown to interception ratio, if you want to look at his play calling or his, ability to, his pocket presence, whatever, all those things, again, there's somebody out there that's going to do a way better job at breaking that down than I could. I just want to look at players and their personalities and how I think that affects them. And again, a lot of that is because I see so many times we just get it wrong. I get it wrong. Other people get it wrong. Everybody gets it wrong when it comes to the NFL draft. I swear to you, I should have told my kids, pick one of these three careers. Either be the weatherman, someone that works at IT at my former job, or a Mel Kiper Jr. Because honestly, you never have to get it right and you're going to get paid pretty good. So that's what I should have told him, but whatever. My point is that it's a science that nobody's really figured out yet. Every single year, we just haven't figured it out. So I decided, you know what? I want to start looking at things from maybe a different perspective and see if I can find any way of gaining any type of insight that maybe other people aren't, and then run with it. If you like this, throw a like, subscribe, comment, and let me know that you liked it, because I'll certainly keep making videos like this. In fact, I'll break down other players on the team, how their personality may affect the team going forward, other coaches, former coaches, whatever, doesn't matter. I could get into other teams if you want me to. It doesn't really matter. I'll do whatever. I kind of enjoy talking about it all the time anyways. So until next time, I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep moving forward. I will always trust the process. And I'll talk to y'all later. I am out.